All right, guys, welcome to the lunch break here at Fish North, Georgia, Thursday, October 23rd. Hope all you guys are doing well out there. It's been a fantastic morning so far. The weekend is in view, right? We're almost there. We are almost there, guys. A lot of you guys are going to be going fishing, hunting this weekend, and I know Thursdays sometimes are the longest days, them and Fridays, because we just want to get ready. What's going on, Coleman? Cleaning the house and doing the dishes so I can get skunked on Lanier Saturday. Hey, you got to do those chores, right? You got to have permission. Got to have permission. And if we do our chores, normally we get to play, right? So, Jack Butler, what's going on? And as a lot of you guys will be coming on, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of a little bit of business like we always do. Guys, I wish you could see my desk right here because we're gonna be talking colors of our favorite baits, and I've got just a boatload of baits in front of me that you guys are gonna be able to see. And I tell you, you're gonna understand that I've got an obsession with one single bait once we get going. What's up, Tony Watkins? Hey, listen, guys, Tony also let me give him a shout out too. He throws out this little, how do you want to call it, devotional every morning that he sends via text message. And sometimes it hits just right. So Tony, I don't know if you're interested in doing that to a bunch of people, but if so, maybe you guys message him over on the Fishers of Hope page on Facebook, and maybe Tony will send that out to you. I actually appreciate it. What's up, fellas? Black and blue, black and blue, black and blue. We'll talk some black and blue today. Jeremiah, John, Tom, appreciate all you guys, jumping in. There's a few of you guys watching over there on TikTok as well. Let me take care of the business. As always, go ahead and put this out there. Toys for Tots. You guys been hearing me talk about it. December 6th out of Laurel Park. Guaranteed $5,000 first place prize, $80 per team plus one unwrapped toy per angler. Okay, it's going to go to Hall County and Pickens County Toys for Tots. We want to help kids have a good Christmas. That's what it's all about. And so I hope you guys will join. Tim and I are going to be fishing, and we'll do some side bets, just whatever, just have a little bit of fun with it. But at the end of the day, it's just a great chance for all of us to get together as a community, help out some less fortunate children, and put a smile on their face come Christmas morning, right? That's what it's all about. What's up, Kendra? This is a lot better than on TikTok, isn't it? And sometimes I have to remember I have to look over at TikTok, and I've got this camera just absolutely rigged up. It's my phone. I've got to get a better camera for TikTok. Also, too, guys, hey, listen, Tony and them next Saturday, Fishers of Hope, Lake Blue Ridge, they've got a tournament going on for a young man named Matthew. It's $100 buy-in. It's a team. I guess you can fish it solo if you want to, but it's a team event. And they're going to be doing things after that, such as a raffle, hamburger plates, and it's all to help this young man who's having some medical issues. Hope you guys can go up there. I'm going to try my best to be up there. I know that I think Tim and Tony, maybe those guys will be fishing it. If you can fish it, come up there. Come up there. And you know what? We'll just see how it goes. Kent, I don't want to change the subject, but I watched MLF this morning to see how they caught them on a high bluebird sky. Well, they have trouble also. Right? At the end of the day, it's fish. 100% at the end of the day, it's fish. And I always say, well, I got Kendra on here, so I want to say it nicely. They're just like women with us. We make them mad one day and they love us the next day. It is what it is, right? But it's getting dialed in for sure. It's getting dialed in. Now, also, too, listen, if you are in the Blue Ridge area this weekend, okay, this coming up weekend, go check out my friends over at Blue Ridge Marina. They're having a special this weekend, okay? 30% off all live bait, tackle, kayaks, rods, and reels. If you have a boat, you can go sell it there. You can go buy you a boat. But that's going on at Blue Ridge Marina. Now, listen, on any given day, guides get 15% off. 15% off. And if you're a local, they do a locals discount of 10% off. Now, I don't know how she figures that up, but my friend Jen up there, she can get you set up. It's located at 12166 Morganton Highway in Morganton, Georgia, which I just basically say, hey, it's Blue Ridge. You can give her a call, 706-900-4004. 30% off. Hey, that's a lot. That's a lot. Go up there and get you a deal. And again, if you're a guide up there, 15% off every single time you shop. What's up, Doug Rice? I appreciate that, Kendra. She says, I don't have to filter myself. What was wrong with the mic yesterday? Did you find something? Actually, I had the earphones plugged in to the bottom of the mic because sometimes I'll plug it in and I'll put them on so I can hear myself, make sure I'm not too loud or not fuzzy. And I just simply forgot to unplug them. And of course, we have now learned, because we all learn together, this is a family, that when you do that, it kind of on your side messes things up a little bit. So, who we got out there? Traveling Fisherman. Hey, y'all, what's going on, buddy? So, anyway, yeah, the MLF, we're going to talk about that tonight. So, on tonight's live well, you're going to have Tim Tony, Father Time. We're going to try to teach him the technology to stream in as well. And we're going to talk about the best baits going into November, the best tactics, and let you guys, of course, share that as well. But also, we'll talk about the MLF. Also, what do you think about the roster? Okay, the BBT roster, 50. And we're going to talk about those who are on there, those who are switching from the MLF, going to the MPFL and other, organizations. So that might make for some interesting conversation. I'll be honest with you. You guys heard me say it before. I don't follow the MLF near as much as I should. So one of my goals this year is actually follow the MLF. We know the big names, but I want to know them all. And I've even heard some of the other YouTube prognosticators say basically that BBT roster is probably the toughest out there. And we'll judge it against the elites. We'll see what's going on with that. So, but anyway, also Doug Rice, what's up? Guys, I'm going hunting with Doug in a few weeks up in Kentucky, at his place in Kentucky. And it is a, very much an honor and a privilege to be able to do that and have a friend that's going to take me. But let me tell you what he's doing. He's sending me pics from his trail cameras of these bucks up there. And it's absolutely driving me insane. Massive deer. They got necks on them. They're swelling up. The rut's getting ready to happen up there. And, it's bad enough without these pics knowing, hey, looking forward to that in a couple of weeks, getting to go up there. But seriously, he's sending me these pics. It's almost like teasing me, right? He's on his way to Alabama. Guess I'll see he's going to Wedowee. That's where that is. He's going to watch some of the MLF. Maybe you'll see those guys over there because he's fishing a tournament there. So anyway, what I want to talk about today, guys, I got to thinking as I was sitting here last night tying jigs. There are certain colors of jigs that sell more than others. There are certain colors of jigs that we tie that are very popular around here. And I was thinking about the color, and we've talked about this on and off from time to time on other podcasts and all that, but I got to thinking about colors. And sometimes do we overthink them a little bit? I've always said you probably could get away with just a white, a black, a green pumpkin. You probably could catch any fish you ever wanted on those. Danny gets to hunt and fish with everybody. Not yet, but I'm going to try. I did send those pictures to my son, though. And basically he texted me back and said, I hate you. I said, well, it is what it is. Also, too, let me say this, guys, before I get started. You can be having the worst day in the world, and there's always something that's going to make you feel a little bit better. Well, that happened to me this morning. Not that I was having a bad day, but you talk about something that just kind of lit my heart up. A lot of you know, a lot of you don't, but I'm not having my first grandchild will be here end of December, 1st of January. And, I love my son and his wife. It's funny watching her belly get a little bit bigger and all that, and watching her kind of, get into the motherhood thing and listening to my wife and all that kind of, and her family as well, give them little hints and everything. But I tell you what, they went for an ultrasound this morning, and the technology that's out there today is absolutely freaking insane. And that I got to see the face in very much detail of my grandchild that's going to be here in 2-3 months. It is amazing at the technology. Now, I know when I had my kids, listen, that didn't exist. They told us, I tell you what, this is what our midwife, because we had a midwife for all three of our, same midwife for all three of our children. Do I feel old enough to be a granddaddy? My body does. My mind does not, but my body does. Been rode hard and put up wet quite a few times there, Jeremiah. My mind still says I'm 18. So, Ken, congratulations. He's going to get his first grandson in February. And so it's pretty cool. But, just seeing that when we were there, we didn't do these gender reveals or anything. Our midwife made it very simple. You're either getting a taco or a turtle. You guys understand. Live scoped them. That's exactly right, Kirk. Live scoped that kid. But that's what we were told. You're getting a taco, which of course is a female, and you get a turtle, and that's a boy. And that was how it was back then. I don't recall seeing an ultrasound of a picture, nothing like I saw today. And the little booger looks just like my son, and my son is much better looking than I am. He takes after his mama's side of the family. But I was just sitting there thinking, like, oh my Lord, look at that. If that don't put a smile on your face, it doesn't matter what's going on in this world. And again, I was having a good day anyway. It just got a hell of a lot better. But man, just the technology. So anyway, I'm looking forward to that. And I'm gonna be the cool granddad. I'm gonna let everybody just kind of run, bull rush them right there at the beginning. I'm gonna sit back, bide my time, and eventually I'm gonna have them on a boat, right? I'm gonna have them on a boat. James Weber, how you doing, bud, today? So anyway, you know, I know I went off on that little tangent. Didn't mean to throw that off, but yeah, I'm excited. Papa, what have you done? Yeah, I said. Also, too, the kids asked us what we're going to be called. Now, when I grew up, I had Papa and I had Granny on both sides. It didn't matter. But nowadays, you get to pick your own name. My son actually picked my name for me. My name is going to be Jefe. I think it's Spanish for boss man. But my son said, "Hey, I want him to call you Jefe." And I'm like, dude, as long as he gets here, he can call me whatever he wants. But that is what has been, I think my wife, they're going to call her honey. I don't know why. I guess I know why. But yeah, I'm going to be known as Jefe. I can dig it. I can dig it. So anyway, that being said, but I appreciate the kind compliments. And again, Kent, absolutely congratulations to you too. It's going to change your lives, right? All I ever hear is wait till that first grandkid gets here. It'll be different. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And also too, it's going to show up right at a good time. You know what I'm saying? That's hilarious. Yeah, baby. You know, it's going to be the perfect time for a kid to get here because, NASCAR hasn't started back up. You got most of your college football will probably be over right about that. You might just have the championships game. Football still going a little bit. This is a perfect time where you can pay attention. I know that Dawson Thompson, this podcast has made my lunch break and drive to and from work 100 times better. My favorite fishing podcast out right now. Thanks for all the amazing content you put out. It's highly appreciated. Dawson, hey, look, I appreciate you too. I don't know about the amazing content, but we do throw some stuff out there. But thank you. That means a lot. That lets me know what we're doing is worth continuing to do, right? But yeah, Jefe, we're going to go with that. But I don't even know where the hell I was going with that before you said that. Hey, listen, I'll go with it. My nephews all call my mom honey, and I don't like it, but she came up with it, I think. Well, I know my wife has already got T-shirts made or sweatshirts with honey on it. Critter Bug Customs, valuable content for sure. I don't know. We'll roll with it, but thank you. So anyway, I'm sitting here last night, and I'm thinking about colors. I started that conversation about 5 minutes ago. I mentioned colors, and here we are. Whether it's for bass, even in your everyday life, you have your favorite colors, right? Whether it's your clothing, whatever, cars, it doesn't matter. James Weber just got on this episode. Have you talked about the turnover on Lanier? I heard the north side is starting to turn over. Yes, we have heard that, and that is going to be covered tonight. We're going to talk about that tonight as well. 8:00 on the live well when I have actual guests. Well, the guys hanging around, and we'll talk about it then. But yes, I think Kevin Underwood kind of mentioned the turnover is kicking up. So Mike says, congratulations. I've got 3 grandkids and 2 great grandkids. So it's all fun. Dude, how old are you? That's awesome. That is awesome. But yeah, we all have our favorite colors, right? And Jeremiah, I'll read your comment here in a second. Like, my favorite color in the entire world is red. Okay. And that goes to my Van Halen days, little Sammy Hagar, the Red Rocker. It doesn't matter. My Mustang back in high school, my 66 was red. I just love the color red, no matter what. Now, again, red comes into play a little bit during fishing, but you know what I'm saying? Every one of you have, when you go into your closet, you pick out certain clothes you like. And red is mine if I can wear it. I don't wear near enough red. Silverpunk says, I gravitate to red. James Weber says he's fishing with Brooks Anderson on Tuesday. Dude, there you go. That's going to be awesome. Mike, you're 65. AARP, baby. AARP. Hey, listen, I ain't far from getting that literature myself. But when it comes to tackle, right? I've always said this. There's tackle made to catch fish and certain colors, right? And then there's tackle to catch fishermen in certain colors. Now, most of the time, I'm pretty good with being on the fisherman side of things. But there are a few products that it doesn't matter what color they are, I'm going to buy. Who's out there? Peg Leg, what's up, buddy? I still got to I'm going to get me an iPad so I can see these comments on TikTok a lot better. Right now, I am using my computer, but it still ain't quite bright enough. White on Lanier is absolute fantastic color. Jeremiah says black, white, chartreuse, and most browns and greens are really all you need, but certain species have a weird thing about specific colors. That's exactly right. Kendra up in Michigan says white and gill pattern for swim jigs, black and blue and peanut butter jelly for my punching and flipping jigs, black and blue and green pumpkin for my bladed jigs. Hey, listen, I like it. I like it. It works. Notice you're throwing swim jigs, punching, flipping jigs, and bladed jigs. So you are a jig woman right there. You like that stuff. A squeaking Chapo, no way. Unpopular opinion: black and red is greater than black and blue. Dawson, that is an interesting thing. Let's see. Traveling Fisherman, my 67 Nova, and of course my cousin's calling me right during the middle of the show. He ought to know better than that. My 67 Nova was pearl blue. Pearl blue. That is awesome. Listen, well, I'm not going to say it. I had a 66 Mustang and she was candy apple red. I should have never sold that thing. We all make mistakes in life, right? Let's see. But we'll talk about that, Dawson, for sure here in a second. When it comes to lures, green pumpkin, purple, and bluegill colors get my attention. And so that's just kind of, let me show you guys what I was doing. Now, these are jigs that I hand tie all my jigs, right? I don't use bands. Bands suck. They dry rot. But what I'll do is I'll put a skirt on a jig head with a band. Okay. So this one has not been tied, but you see this color purple right here? Let me see if I can turn right. You see that color purple with this camera? I don't know if this thing will show up bright enough. And I'm shaking like crazy because it's just what I do. It shows up a lot better on TikTok. You can see that purple better, but this old daggum Mac camera that I'm using right here, it's not quite as bright as what it looks like in reality. But that is one of the colors on Lake Lanier that I think if you're fishing a jig or even worms, I think you should have a little bit of purple in there. And that's kind of what started this, me thinking today. Let's talk about colors and see what guys like. And silver punk, you said right there, green pumpkin, purple, and bluegill colors get my attention. Well, depending on the trailer that you put on this jig, you can do all three of those things, right? Especially, but I don't know what it is about spotted bass on Allatoona, Chatuge, Carter's, Lanier, all these highland reservoirs. If you're going after spots, dude, I'm telling you right now, purple is one of the colors. Gotta love them Georgia Bulldog colors. Yeah, listen, I like the red and black. Have you ever done any pink jigs, like pink chatterbaits, crankbaits? No, I don't do a lot of pink, but I do know that Georgia Blade makes and it's considered a nighttime spinnerbait, which is what's kind of crazy and interesting. But it is basically a bubblegum pinkish style spinnerbait. The blade is pink, the skirt is pink, and it is listed under their nighttime spinnerbaits. A lot of guys buy them. A lot of guys like that. I myself, when we're talking about colors, pink is not one on spinnerbaits and things of that nature that really gets my attention. Now in worms, yes. See, it's kind of weird how it works depending on your bait. James Weber, electric blue Kitex. So you can't go wrong with that. But I'll tell you that Dave Aldridge, who fishes over here at Lanier and at Gunnersville, to him, basically, there's one color only, and that is French pearl. And he waxes their ass on it. Very simple. But if you look at Kitex and a lot of things like that, you can have a base color and they just change the flake in it, and it becomes a different product for sure. Kitex makes a great bait. Now for topwater, I prefer white. Even at night, just had better luck than with black. I got things. Listen, my desk again is scattered, and I'm just going to be opening some stuff as I go because I have a lot of unopened product that was in my truck and everything. Let's start off with topwater. Three colors, really, that you can get. You can catch all the fish you want on, and I might not. Oh, Mother Mary! Sorry, I didn't mean to. I hope I didn't offend any of you Catholics out there. It was not my intention. But I don't know why I didn't open all these before the show. But hey, listen, topwater. You probably can't tell with the light, but that's bone. Okay, I mean that's bone. It's cane walker, Berkeley cane walker. Chrome, white, bone. The reality is that's probably the only three colors you really would ever need, right? Now they make other ones, but most guys will have a white, they'll have a bone, they'll have a chrome, and they'll go with it. They will go with it. Uh, I'm gonna catch up on the comments, and then we'll get to this top white. I say bright blues and cow tongue pink stood out this year on every lake for Kurt. You know what? I'm realizing there's not really any fish in the world that doesn't like fire tiger either. Now that I think about it, we need to talk some fire tiger. Now Kendra says I don't fish for smallies a lot. Lots of inland large fishing for me. My son has a 2004 Candy Red Mustang. It is so pretty. Okay, there you go. 100% agree about the purple on Lanier. What's up, Alex? That jig is hot in Tennessee. Also, listen. I've got to tie about 30 of those today and get them out. I'm a big fan of monkey milk in general for imitating shad fishing with Paul. That's a good color for sure. Bone and black is all you need for topwater. That's a traveling fisherman. And guys, I'm gonna get him on this show too. We're gonna have him as a guest sometime. Very interesting fella. Electric blue is awesome. I use black and white for my buzz and walking baits. Now we're back on the topwater thing. So, like, walking baits, really, all you really need is a chrome, a white, or bone. And really, you might not even need the white. You could get away with a black, or I don't know. Some guys throw black, some guys throw bone. I guess that's really four colors: black, bone, white, and chrome. You could keep it simple, right? You could keep it simple like that. They make all sorts of colors, but if we're being honest, you really probably can catch 90% of fish out there on four colors. Now, when it comes to buzz baits, and I do not have a buzz bait pulled out, there's two colors for me, and really one: white and black. Just white and black. Coleman says chrome, bone, white, and black. There you go. John Cox said he's been using a squealing Chapo for 4 years. Yeah, I mean, I guess he has. Double check TikTok. Is there any fish anywhere that won't eat fire tiger? Anywhere in the world, I can't think of one. It even works in trolling skirts for marlin and tuna. Yeah, coleslaw brown west. That's a big spinnerbait color. A lot of guys like coleslaw, especially in muddy water. Now, Steven Sturgeon says, I got to agree with the black for topwater sometimes. Those guys that throw the cast OG, and they got several colors out there, but one of the main ones is black. What's up, Georgia? How you doing over there on TikTok? John Cox was also using the flux gill long before he was allowed to talk about it. I'm probably sure. A lot of them guys get some of them baits a long time before we ever see them, right? Don't forget clear or ghost patterns for topwater too. Now, clear comes into play for me. It comes into play for me in the fall. I will throw clear a lot more. Danny, do you have a signature jig color that you're known for? Really? I mean, Ryan came up with this color. Ryan Sheffield came up with that color, but that is the color that I sell the most of. So people they order that. Bone versus white, does it make any difference? Have not noticed any. No, War Eagle. I don't think so. At least me. I don't think so. But you know how anglers are. Guys get out there and just take fire tiger that Jeremiah is talking about. I know my father-in-law back when he was alive, if he threw a crankbait at all, which he didn't throw it often, but if he did throw one, it was fire tiger. That's the one he had confidence in. I looked at that thing and I'm like, I'm not throwing it. But that was a long time ago, right? Don't forget translucent. What's up, Tracy Coker? Anything with an orange throat patch? I think I got some of those over here. Now, chrome and blue, honestly, I don't have the Spro E-Pop in front of me. Why? I don't know. I got some in the boxes over there. That's my favorite color of topwater, bar none anywhere. I just consider it a chrome with the blue. Yeah, it does have the blue top, but chrome. So your basic colors, your basic base colors, and then you can add things to them, right? I dang near won a tournament on a bone fluke on Eufaula when it was cloudy and white when it was sunny. If I tried the other when it was cloudy or sunny, it didn't work. I know that on Latham, if I'm throwing a scrounger, and again, I know we're talking topwater, but I'll put on my scrounger, I'll put a fluke, right? If it is low light or cloudy, I will throw a white fluke on the back of my scrounger, chunk it out there, let it just go to the bottom, whatever. If it's sunny, I switch over to like a Zoom disco green, disco violet. That's more kind of what I would do, and it works over there. It works over there. But again, top water, anything works. Does certain color work for different species of bass? That's a good question, Bottom Line Outdoors. I would think. I don't have enough. Kendra, if you're still out there, maybe you can kind of help us with the smallmouth bite, or some of you people that are up north, Illinois, Stephen, maybe you guys that have smallmouth. We don't have enough, so I don't want to be giving an answer to that, but I would say they do. I don't know why, and maybe it's all in our brains. I will tell you this: when it comes to plastic worms on the bottom, people dipping the tails. I find dipping the tail in chartreuse and all that really works really good with spots. I haven't seen it really do that much on largemouth when I fish a largemouth lake or even a pond, but I do know that dipping the tail in chartreuse seems to work for spots. Coleman says smallies like chart. Now, Brian West, you're right. Being around active feeding fish is the biggest factor. 100%. You can throw whatever you want. If they're not hungry, they ain't going to eat, right? Black jitterbug. Now, I tell you what, Father Time would love you for that comment. I don't know how many fish have been caught on a black jitterbug, but I'll tell you this. I grew up, what is that? That frog pattern on a Zara spook. You guys know the one I'm talking about? White belly with the kind of looks like the frog on the top. I don't know how many fish I caught on that back in farm ponds during the days. That was the color, and I wouldn't throw nothing but that color. Spotted bass have a weird thing about chartreuse. Largemouth like purple and smallies have a weird thing about pink and orange. So going off that comment right there, Jeremiah, I agree. Now, I tell you what, this jig right here on Lanier, this color combination, which is a barbed wire, green pumpkin, and that purple, it's caught. I know it won some tournaments in the electric only side of things on Lanier in January and February. There's one guy that calls me up, and I tie him 5 of these, and he fishes all 5 of them all year. But he'll call me up in January and say, "Hey, I need 5 more." But I know that in 2 tournaments in a row, that took the winning bag, that jig color. And I'm not saying it's just my jig. I'll take credit for it, but it's that color. Had the 2 biggest bags in both tournaments and big fish in both tournaments that were like 7+ largemouth. So it came in with spots and with largemouth. So they're the purple thing. Now, talking about the smallmouth, I poured them little Ned heads. Let me read Traveling Fisherman real quick. For me, Illinois, Oregon, Vermont, smallie fishing is all I used. All I used was a Z-Man TRD Tickler Z Watermelon Red. Watermelon Red's a popular color here. Sorry to put my hand up there. I was trying to read the comment. But I know those Neds, when those guys go up north, a lot of guys have me pour some of them weedless Ned heads, and I paint them in pink, chartreuse, orange. I don't do that for any of the guys down here. I do that for the guys up that are going up north, which is pretty interesting. And I see Tony says, shoot, dip that tail for largemouth too. I notice a significant difference in my pond. So he's, Tony, you're probably fishing around a lot more largemouth than I get to fish around. I think the only true like largemouth lakes around here are some of the electric only ones like Hickory Log, maybe Rocky. Latham's got a mix of both. But yeah, I mean, listen, it makes sense. Best herring fluke tips I've gotten was to throw white when it's cloudy, throw chart when it's sunny. I was blown away since that's so backwards from a shad lake. Messick, what's up, Gone Fishing with Ed? Messick chartreuse flukes have been used a lot on Lake Lanier this year. A lot. Some guys will talk about it, some guys won't, but I can tell you chartreuse is a color that has just been going, it's hard to keep chartreuse flukes in stock. Honestly, it has. Kirk says for smallies, black to mimic leeches, perch patterns, brown, blue like gobies, and then they go onto the shot colors like pink and chart. There you go. There's just some smallmouth knowledge right there. If I had to guess, I'd say darker colors for largemouth and lighter colors for spots. I don't know. When I went up to Chickamauga, I asked a lot of guys, we were fishing a tournament up there. I said, what can I throw up there? Never had fished there before. We were getting 2 days practice and then a tournament. And you don't know how many guys from Georgia said, go up there and throw a morning dawn worm. Now, Chick does have smallmouth spots and largemouth, but the largemouth were caught. And we took 4th in that tournament. It wasn't a great tournament, but we took 4th, and the largemouth had were caught on a morning dawn, softy pink morning dawn worm. So I don't know. I think, I don't know. That could be true. I don't know. Sorry, a client came in. Smallies like deep, dark purples too, Kendra said. Okay, yeah, she's watching us while she's at work, which is what this show's all about, right? Um, Now Messick's also talking about herring lakes and reel the fluke straight. Don't twitch. It's kind of small rod twitches while you're reeling it straight. Yeah, on a herring lake, fast. That's the way a lot of the guys do it. Is Poche out of the BPT? From what I heard, yes. I think I saw that on Get Your Fishes video this morning. Just purchase some ghost herring trick worms. Those are awesome. Danny, would all the chartreuse topwater lures really work good on spots in clear water? All chartreuse topwater lures. I don't know. I do know that over here on Latham, last summer, one of the hot colors for the Seville style baits was the Magic Swimmer in chartreuse with a chrome side. A lot of guys were doing that. Won many tournaments on a cornstarch jig. There you go. The BBT cut the field down. Yeah, we're going to talk about that tonight on the live well too. To 50. Danny, would you throw a wacky pumpkin chart tail 1/8 for a slow drop? Hang on. Oh, if you would throw a wacky. Let me show you the color. Now we're talking about there is one color and one color only. Or I say two colors and two colors only of Senkos that I throw on a wacky. And I'll pull them both out because I am prepared. Let me find the other one though. I'll show you my favorite colors and you guys can chime in on that. Where's that other one? Hell, I know it was here. When I tell you guys I got a ton of stuff. Oh, here it is. Both of them are Yamamoto baits. I will throw just a straight green pumpkin yum if it's been a tight week and I ain't got no money. So here are the two color wacky worms I throw. I throw this more. Now this is just your standard. I'll let you guys see it down there. That is a green pumpkin red flake Yamamoto. Okay, that's the standard. And again, this camera on this doesn't show it near as good, but there you go. That's what I throw if I'm in a largemouth lake. Spots eat it too, but I'll throw this more in a largemouth lake. If I'm fishing Lake Lanier, there's one color I'm throwing 90% of the time. And it's hard to tell with that. But it's like they called it monster shad, right? It is a little bit translucent with some green in it. Got some gold flake, some black flake, some black pepper. I think it's like 297 chart large black or large gold flake or something like that, because on some of the stuff they don't put the exact like a name. It's just a number. And this is one of those. And I've had that bag for so long the number has come off of it. But I know what I'm looking for when I get it. Favorite wacky worm, David Dudley, watermelon red purple, I think. Yeah. This thing right here on Lake Lanier, on Lake Allatoona, anything that's got spotted bass, you skip this thing weightless up under a dock. I don't care if it's in January or whatever. Let it sink because it mimics shad. It does a lot of things there, but that thing right there gets absolutely plowed. It does. And I've caught a few largemouth on it, but Latham, if I take that over to Latham, I'm going to catch 95% spots compared to largemouth. I know me and Blake Buchanan fished over there in an EBO tournament. We were throwing this. We caught 60 fish, spots and largemouth in one day over on Latham. Unfortunately, we were the king of the 2-pound bass that day and not catching any big ones, which blew my mind. But this right here, like that wacky worm right there, guys, I'm telling you, and I've told everybody this, that thing right there is money. And this is the one that I will go over a brush pile, 40 foot deep. I don't care. Chunk that thing and just let it sit there. Because to me, it looks like a dying shad. I gotta get the camera. A dying shad as it's going down. But that's it. That's money. That's the only 2-color wacky worms that I throw. And you guys know how much I love throwing a wacky. Let's see. Jeremiah says, I remember Al Linder saying hot or fluorescent colors for smallies are the deal. He was using X-Wraps in the wildest of colors. Apparently, bubblegum flukes are popular in Tennessee for them. I live in Georgia, was in northern Indiana all last week fishing smallmouth. There you go. Gonna throw a jig for the first time ever this weekend. Gonna try it on Lanier. It's different. It takes a while to get used to throwing that jig. Kendra says, I find the chartreuse and blue cranks are another smallmouth smasher. I find the largemouth do not seem as picky as a smallmouth. Okay, there you go. Black is a good color for smallmouth. I use it a lot. Let's see. Now, James says, I caught them on wacky rigs and swim baits, whatever color was in my tackle box. And listen, again, sometimes we overthink it, right? I try to go simple. I'm getting ready to show you this fascination I got with the rock crawlers, and you'll understand here in a second. I can't say all top waters worked on lakes really, but lately I've destroyed shoal bass with one. I need to go get on some shoal bass for sure. What's up, John G? Tearing them up on the Oconee River with a wacky green pumpkin with gold flakes. There you go. But again, the green pumpkin is pretty much the base, right? Ever use a jumping minnow rebel? I have not. And let's see, I'm almost caught up. Bama bug wacky on wooden docks for sure. Paul B. Same one I throw wacky most times for sure. I use that chart pepper Danny just showed, or just watermelon red most of the time with Cinco's. Almost never use green pumpkin. Listen, I'm like, I will throw this. I've been throwing this one for about the last 2.5, 3 years. Now, I'm not a hammer on Lake Lanier. Okay. I am not Emil or Paul Marks Jr. or any of those guys. Brooks Anderson, Kevin Underwood, which I've got a Kevin Underwood bait I'm going to show you in a second. But I just know that, listen, this thing works. It works for me. I've caught them all year long on it, and I have confidence in it, right? So basically 2 colors of Cinco. Now, Danny, you have to wacky a bougie blue Cinco. I promise you'll notice a difference. Okay, I'll try it. Listen, I'm willing to try anything to catch fish, right? Those are just the ones I have confidence in. Is peanut butter and jelly working good? And that is Michael Cummings, I believe. Yeah. Peanut butter and jelly on jigs work down here as well all the time. So I would say the 4 main colors that I tie for people is a peanut butter and jelly, and then I have a peanut butter and jelly with a little chartreuse. So I group those 2 colors as one. I tie the farmers. Now this one, I got to put weed guard on this one, but everybody that watches this knows they're pretty familiar with the farmers. So that is it's green pumpkin barbed wire, green pumpkin with that little bit of brown on the bottom. And I'll show you guys over on TikTok. That little brown on the bottom. That is not a trimmed up jig yet, but you can kind of see the colors. Farmer likes to take this jig. This is the color he throws 90% of the time. And if you know Farmer, you know he's a hammer on the jig. What he does is throughout the year, if he wants to change his kind of give it a different profile, different look, he changes it with the trailer. He can go orange, black, whatever he wants to throw. But Farmer throws this color jig, and he's very cool to show it. I will tell you this. Let me just, while we're right here, I only throw one color, and you guys are going to think I'm crazy. Whether it's PBJ, whether it's that green pumpkin purple, and even Farmers, I throw one color trailer year round. I am a twin tail Yamamoto cinnamon with black flake. You guys can see it right there. I stay very basic. Cinnamon with black flake, and if I want to dip sometimes I will dip the right in here with chartreuse or even orange, depending on the time of year. Not much to it. Low light conditions, I like motor oil. Yeah. I find motor oil is actually more popular with older guys than younger guys. Seriously, like in the shop. Anybody that wanted like a Zoom motor oil, they were all my age or older. But I don't listen. I mean, again, it's kind of hard to tell because this jig is not tied, but you can see the kind of the colors and then that. And then I just that's all it is. That's all I do. Now I'm not a jig aficionado, but I've caught plenty of bass on that, on Lanier. But I'll dip the tails. I'm very simple. And how many colors of twin tail grubs are there? 5,232,000. Always green pumpkin crawl. PB&J is my second go-to. I throw 3 main colors in Cinco: green pumpkin black, green pumpkin blue flakes, green pumpkin purple flakes. Simple enough, right? I have a theory. This is Jeremiah. I have a theory. Okay, before I get on your theory, let me read this. No, he still has the same motor oil one. I have a theory. Colors probably don't matter most of the time, but we all have had plenty of times when it made all the difference. And we never know the next time if it happens, we buy 100 colors. I agree with you. Motor oil robo worms look like real worms to me color-wise. Paul B says 15 years ago, motor oil was king for me. Danny, you ever throw a wacky on a drop shot? James, actually, I don't. I actually don't. I've tried it before, and I've tried it with a fluke. That's again, we're going back to confidence. I'm not saying it don't work. You guys may slam on it. For me, I've never had the confidence with it. I will show you this. My favorite. I'll show you these things. Depending on whether I'm fishing a shaky head or a Texas rig, I have 2 colors right now that are hot for me. And I say hot, like I'm on the water all the time. But this is the one I'm going to have tied on because the last 2 times I've been out with it, I've caught fish. The time I went out with Alex and them on Latham, this is the one that I caught fish on for sure. Let me hit that button. This is Zoom Mag Shaky Head, okay? This is a new color that I just started throwing. This is called Purple Watermelon. There we go. Purple Watermelon. Again, it's got that purple in it. It's got that touch of purple in it. I guess I could hold it flat so you guys could see it a lot better. See, it's just got the, it's really translucent. And you guys ever on TikTok, like I'm old and my medicine makes me shake. So there you go. Keeps me from going crazy, but it makes me shake a little bit. But this one right here is, to me, the last few times I've been out, see you traveling fisherman. The last few times I've been out, that's money. I mean, that's just, I don't know what it is, but I have caught bass on it. I caught largemouth on it on Latham. I've caught spots on Lanier with it. And it's just a Zoom Purple Watermelon. And I do like their Mag Shakies, how they kind of towards the bottom, they get a little thin, right? I love that. I really do like that. And on a chicken rig, which is the way I had it rigged that day too, on the chicken rig, that's what it, it's going to be sitting down here with the weight, the old Dave Aldridge trick. And that's just hopping along the bottom. It's got that little tail just a wiggling and a waggling right there for you guys over there, chicken rig, kind of like a Texas rig Nico. And that's what that thing looks like. And I'm telling you what, this color, like, we got some in at the shop, and I'm like, that's interesting. And I took it out, and dude, just all of a sudden it was like, all right, I like that. But if I'm on a largemouth lake, there is one color that I'll throw more than anything too. And you guys, listen, I'm just showing you my colors. You guys all have your own colors, and I'm not saying anybody's colors are wrong. You want to pull out an old monster? Red bug. I just don't think, look, I mean, you can see that green flake in that on that camera with that light. You can kind of see it a little bit, you guys over there. Like if I'm on a largemouth lake and I'm Texas rigging, that's the color I'm throwing. I'll put on that old monster. My family's home. You might can hear the dogs in the background. Of course, they start barking. I knew that was going to happen, but it is what it is. My wife is babysitting twins, and she just got home. And these twins are like fresh baked twins. We're talking like 6 months old. But anyway, let's get up on the comments here. After all my years of fishing and looking back through my logs, I've settled on 2 basic color schemes for my reaction baits. Some sort of shad bait fish and something chartreuse looking. Makes sense. Makes sense. Tim Hancock, for worms, a green pumpkin or something in black type scheme. Makes sense. Maybe my wife and them ain't home. Maybe just somebody pulled up in the driveway. I would go in there and kick them dogs, but you guys would get mad at me. I'm not going to kick my dog. I'm just joking. That is one thing about working from home. I don't have a soundproof studio. We just deal with it, right? Hold on a second. Hush! There you go. I hope I didn't blow y'all's ears out. I agree, Jeremiah. I can always get bit on green pumpkin and watermelon red, drop shot worms, Nico, Wacky Rig, Ned, all of it. Yeah, I mean, listen, the guys over on on Allatoona, when they talk about Carolina rigging, they're always doing a watermelon red flake zoom. Watermelon red flake, the little 4-inch zoom lizard, for sure. And let's see. When using a stick bait, okay, you guys, hold on one second. Hold on one second. Can we get that hush on the soundboard? Hold on one second. How many daggone shows can you do where they go in there and the guy running the show tells his dogs to shut up? Let's see. Let's see. Danny, I know you throw a weightless wacky, but on the river, I throw a weighted one. Otherwise, the current won't let it sink by the time it gets back to me. That makes sense for sure. The only colors I care about with the old monster are Junebug or plum, which plum is very similar. They always eat one or the other. I like the blue fleck hitworms too. Hitworms. Listen, yeah, That's a good color for sure. But nearly everything that he has some red in it, Tim Hancock said. Kendra says, Danny, trust me when I say a wacky rig on a drop shot works, especially deeper fish that are oriented to the bottom. I'm going to do a video, some guys. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a little rig going on Lanier right now that a lot of guys are calling a chase rig that kind of plays off the drop shot. And so after today, I was going to do a little video and show you guys that, put it out on the page, and you guys can make it, choice of whether you think it's legit or not. But it's very much what a lot of guys used last year. They didn't talk about it a lot when it came to ditch fishing. And we got the ditch fishing coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and put a video out and show you guys. And just you guys can make the choice of whether you think it's worth it or not. But it is based upon a drop shot rig. Danny, did you find somewhere for all you guys to hang out Tuesday through Thursday stuff yet? We are possibly building out a studio in Clint's basement. And so what will happen, if that happens, I will do the lunch break from my house. And then on Tuesdays and Thursday nights, I will go down there and we'll do the show from there. Bone is my go-to year-round, just a hard color to find, Joshua. Hey, dude, listen, I appreciate your guitar videos. Dude, listen, keep jamming, keep strumming that thing. I can strum a little bit. My brother can play like crazy. He can play anything. I can strum. I will be picking up my Frankenstrat that Tom Oswald has given me, a little Frankenstrat replica he made for me. It'll be hanging behind me next week, hopefully. Danny, what kind of hounds do you got? I got 2 border pits. They are a purposefully bred border collie and pit bull. So you get all the brains of the border collie and you get the loyalty kind of a pit bull, but they look more like border collies. Super smart dogs. But my Lord, I think there's something out there, and sounds like something out in the yard's making some noise, and you know how it is. They get the barking. When you didn't poke them in the butt, no, I did not. I did not give them the dolphin to hush them up. I did not do that. But yeah, Joshua, that's awesome. Listen, keep playing it. I like Tremonti. I'm a Van Halen guy, but I like Tremonti as well. Now I believe that's the guitarist that you seem to like. Maybe I'm wrong, but I kind of took that. Hey, listen, we're not going to stop. Let me go ahead and show you guys. Did something happen to the shop? I haven't been able to watch the last few episodes. Yeah, the shop, go ahead and I'll say again, the shop is no longer going to exist. So just Josh and I, we're splitting, nothing bad. We're just different directions, and he's going one way, I'm going the other, and it's all good. But it was time. It was time. Now, remember me telling you about the one bait this is the one bait that I feel like I got every color that they make. Okay, every color that they make. And I'm going to show, where's my tackle box right here? This is just one. Oh, yeah, Ace Frehley, rest in peace, too. I'm serious. We're getting to that age where all our heroes are going away, right? Now, Groove Tackle. I love their hard bait box. And so what better way to promote Groove Tackle and to use Groove Tackle than actually use the products? But I also love a Spro rock crawler like nobody's business. And this is just one. That's just one of my Groove Tackle rock crawler boxes, and I've got several. See, so I'll just pick out one. This is more of my wintertime stuff. You guys can kind of see it right there. Cool thing about Groove Tackle, look, they don't fall out. Your hooks might turn upside down, but that's it. I'm serious. These things are the bomb. Go to Groove Tackle, or excuse me, go to groovefishing.com, type in FNGO, and you can get a 10% off. I'm telling you guys, for hard baits and that jig box, it's crazy legit. FCP Fishing, sad about Ace Frehley. Yeah, for sure. But now listen, guys, like I have every color, but this one right here is my favorite, bar none of all the rock crawler baits. And again, right here, this is the money to me in the wintertime. Redbug. That right there to me is absolute money. Green pumpkin top, you see that? Listen, you guys, honestly, go to groovefishing.com. But if you type in FNGO10, you get 10% off. I'm telling you that, the boxes are amazing. To me, right here in the wintertime coming up, you can throw that one rock crawler right there, catch all the fish you want to catch. And guys, listen, I talked to Dana today too. And Dana, I believe I'm good for Saturday night. We will be having a Tim Hancock. We'll be having a special if Dana's still good. We'll be having a special live well Saturday night for you guys. And Dana's going to be our guest because that is the one time I can get his ass on the show because he's a busy man. But I love this one. But I'm getting ready to show you. This is just what's laying on my desk. This one right here, electric red crawl. Tim says I still don't own a red crankbait that I bought. Like, check this one out. They're all basically kind of just changing a little bit. Now there's a lot of light on that, and so you kind of see it's got a little purplish sheen to it. But I love these things right here. But I'll just go ahead and show you. Look, I mean, I got that one. That is Missouri crawl. I've got, that's another red bug. I've got, what is this one? Burnt orange crawl. Oh, hell, turn it right way, Danny. I love that one. I've got, let's see, what is this one? Green crawl. And then just listen, there's just different shades. That is the one bait, though, that I feel like I have to buy every single color they put out. I've got the Nasty Shad, PB&J. PB&J was hot in a rock crawler last year. But I still think you can take red bug. You can take this one on any spotted bass lake. And largemouth hit this thing, too. And then, okay, so this is a 50. It's a little bit smaller. And you guys can see the difference between a 50 and a 55 right here. You can see that difference. You guys over there on TikTok. There you go. You can see that. But I love the rock crawler. Now, of course, it is the only crankbait that I really have confidence in. Now, Dana says, watch tonight's video for some rock crawler action. See how timely it can be. And Dana, Saturday, if you're still good, we'll talk about the rock crawler. Jeremiah says, root beer chartreuse, one of the greatest crankbait colors of all time. Bassin with Diaz says, FCP catches them. Great videos, Dana. And seriously, I mean, there's just something about a rock crawler. Now, I know a lot of guys like the DTs, and they're great too. Okay, they're great too. And I know, what is that daggum color that Farmer loves? It's the red one. The red one. You guys know the one I'm talking about. The name, Demon. Farmer loves the DT Demon color. Anyone ever put straight spindle hubs on a tapered spindle by accident? Carver, I have not. I have not, buddy. I don't know that. I like the green crawl, Alex says. Demon. Yeah, Coleman said that. Now, remember, hey, listen, I was talking to you again about colors and all that. We were talking about flukes. I don't think we were talking. Some of you guys were talking about flukes. Now, I always use Zoom, and I told you I use the white, and I use the disco green, disco violets. But Underwood is making his own flukes now. And I'm just telling you right now, this color right here, this is his. If I can open the thing. Only thing I tell you about this, my wife's going to come in here and think this a bad Saturday night has happened because he does heavily scent his baits. And so she's going to be coming in like, who have you had in this room? And I'm going to be, I had a fluke. She goes, I bet it was a fluke. No, baby, it was a fluke. It was an Underwood fluke. I got the Phantom Brown one the other day, Brian Cannon. This right here. This is Underwood's. Let me show you guys on TikTok. Go to lipsticker.com and you can buy these. This is Underwood's Secret Herring. And again, I probably got too much light for you to truly see the color as it is. This thing right here is money on Lanier. Money on Lanier, money on Allatoona, money on Carter's. I'm just telling you, it is money. If you want some, go to Lipsticker Fishing. And next time you see Kevin, you tell him, you saw it here. I'm just telling you guys, this is the fluke. And Alex is right there. You can see Alex. Underwood, that herring color flat out gets bit. On Lake Lanier right now, if you want to catch some fish, that's one. Lanier Baits Blue Herring Fluke is a good one. Listen, and Lanier Baits puts out a fine product as well. But that thing right there, I'm telling you, it's ridiculously dumb. And, the cool thing about it is when you saw Messick up there earlier talking about going fast with flukes, Dana, I know, likes to jig them. Dana, I can do your cast. Throw it out there, let it get the bottom 3 times. Some my slack line. And then you hook one, you go, I love it. Put it on a spot choker, put it whatever. But I'm telling you, it's very, you can work this really fast to look like a fleeing blueback heron. Really fast. You can't work that one, or really, honestly, any fluke, but just about that color, you can't work it too fast for it, for sure. Love that one. I love crankbaits, especially on the Mississippi in the spring and fall. Yeah, that's a good one. I get it. Dana is amazing with the hair jig. It looks like he borrowed the technique from snap jigging for walleye, but I'm not sure. Nobody else uses a hair jig either, and it's really eye-opening. Jeremiah, I've been trying to get him to show me that jig for 3 years, maybe even longer than that, Dana. Dana might know that, maybe longer than that. He will not show me that jig, but we know kind of what it is. But we kind of know what it is, but we don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like that secret juice, that little nice little last bit of information that we're missing. But he does. James Weber says, burn, pause. Burn, pause. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Dana says the jig and the fluke is deadly. And listen, if you watch his videos, and if you're not subscribed to FCP Fishing on YouTube, you need to go. And what's really cool is that the music at the beginning, that's Dana. He used to be an 80s rocker. He still got the hair, right? He used to be an 80s rocker. That cast works. I started catching bass on the hair jig and fluke last fall and winter. It does work. And it kind of goes in line with the color stuff that we're talking about. You can keep it very simple and be very consistent catching fish, right? What are y'all's favorite treble hooks? Upgrading my chug bug and topwaters. What are you guys' favorite treble hooks? BMC and Owners make great ones. Mustad is a good one. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so Mustad triple grips, VMC for the really big ones. That's what Tim says. Have you put a fluke on a wobblehead yet? No, and I don't throw the wobblehead near enough. I know Tim that'll be on the show tonight. He absolutely does. He throws a wobblehead like crazy. I'll have to ask him if he has actually put a fluke on there and tried it. I'm assuming, bottom line, you have, and let us know. Does it work? Paul says the weighted ones for sure. Gamakatsu 2 times strong. Dana says Mustad Ultra Point are the best. Paul B says, yeah, I use Mustad usually because I can get them near here without having to order. Like that. Coleman says, I will say I like the Fusion 19s, even though I'm not a big Berkeley fan. No, their hooks are good. VMC are great hooks, a little pricey. Yeah, for sure. For absolute sure. But I mean, when we get to talking about colors, I think all you guys can kind of get the gist of what I'm saying is that sometimes we really do overthink it, don't we? We really honestly could have 4, 5, 6 colors and it just and wax all the fish we want to catch, right? I like the Plum Old Monster and the Mag 2 worm on a wobblehead. Okay, Cam wants to know, guys, what is the reason behind the red hooks? And Tim Hancock, you're on here. Tim actually, now let me make sure I remember this correctly. I want to say it right. Tim changes out at least one hook on his baits, not his spinner baits or nothing. I'm thinking like his Kong or any of his big swim baits or things like that. He changes out one hook to red, and it's usually the front one. Am I correct on that, Tim? I want to make sure that I remember that right. TrueCar or VMC hooks. BKK makes really great hooks too, but no one ever really talks about them that much for sure. Trocar hooks, Mustad Ultra Point ball jig, half ounce question mark. Yeah, I mean, it's a good one. I've always heard it's to give them a target, but I've never noticed a difference, to be honest. I do not change it out. Some guys do. Give them a target to key in on. Some say it looks like blood, but I don't buy the blood part. I don't know. That's the kind of, I'm not sure about the blood part either. And I'm also not really sure about deep diving crankbaits because red is supposed to kind of dissipate a little bit in the water, right? What's up, Colton Posey? Just like an Alabama guy, an hour late to everything, right? But I don't know if Tim's still here now. I know Tim is big on changing his hooks to red, or at least one of them. But again, Colton, you do that out there in Alabama. You change your hooks to crimson or red. I said crimson for you. But I mean, seriously, I don't know, especially with crankbaits. To me, it seems like crankbaits are such a reaction bait. I don't really know. But I've always said that about putting scent on a crankbait too, right? I mean, it's there. They decide to hit it. I don't know that they have time to sit there. Maybe it makes them hold on to it a little bit longer. I don't know. But listen, hey Cam. I mean, if you go out there, you could probably YouTube red hooks and get all kinds of different perspectives, just like we're talking about with colors today. You know, you can go into one guy's garage on his pegboard, and he has basically he might have 4,800 baits on there, but it's basically the same 6 to 10 colors, right? And then you can go ahead on another guy's wall, and he's got every color known to man. Oh, that's right, Colt. I forgot you're a tech fan. That's right. Hey, listen, nothing wrong with that, baby. Remember back in the day, they used to advertise the Daichi bleeding bait hooks? Did I say that right? Daichi? They were all bright red. Then the Cajun red fishing line. And the red line, remember, it's supposed to be, they couldn't see it once it got down so far. Diaz says, I changed one hook on specific jerk baits to red. Well, which one, Diaz? Let us know. Wasn't the Cajun line selling point that fish couldn't see red well? I mean, that was what they claimed, right? Because I think red is, and again, somebody smarter than me is going to say something different, but I've always been taught that red was the first color to change as you went down the depth of the water column. I would think a feathered treble hook would make more of a difference in hook color. See, Steven, that's a lot of guys. I got a sashimi right here in chrome. A lot of guys will take this back, even on a sashimi or on a magic swimmer or whatever. They'll change that back hook out to a feathered treble every single time. Every time. Alex says most of us swap out the back hooks for a feathered treble. That's a big Lanier thing too, big time. A Pearl 110. You got that? You like that? Red turns to brown at certain depth away from the sunlight. And you guys, if you watch some of them videos, again, we talked about it. Bass don't see colors the way we see, right? Chartreuse looks more like a very bright silverish, whitish color. It doesn't look yellow like we see it. Green pumpkin actually changes a little bit as well. I think, again, I'm not a fish. I'm not looking through their eyes, but a lot of them will say the only color that we see the exact same as a bass is June bug. Again, I've never asked a bass that. I don't know that to be true, but I've heard a lot of guys say that. That's the irony. The line was supposed to disappear, but the hooks apparently made your live bait seem injured and stand out. See, that's the way I think, Jeremiah. Doesn't make sense, does it? I say the red makes the bait look wounded and the fish focus in on it. Could be. And Alex is going back to work, so he'll see you later. And I'm actually getting ready to go back to work myself, guys. We're going about an hour or so. Now, listen, tonight, again, go ahead and mark it. Tonight, let me read Jeff's real quick, or Cam and Jeff's. I've seen people color their braid with a Sharpie a few feet up on their frogs. I personally feel that's overthinking it, but whatever you have confidence in. I have dressed a treble on the back of every top water and jerk bait I throw. He has a dressed treble. Yeah, a lot of people do that. Legit, June bug is probably my favorite color. And June bug catches largemouth and spots. So it is like that. So you guys, listen, come back tonight at 8 o'clock. Tony, Tim, and hopefully if we can get Father Time to figure out how to work his iPhone, he'll be in tonight. And I want you guys to come back. We're going to talk about the best baits going into November. And we could talk about a lot of these again, because I know that rock crawler is getting ready to come into play. But we can talk about that. We're also going to talk about the MLF, the BPT. Just kind of, I know that Tony said he hasn't watched near as much, but he loves the team aspect of what's going on right now in Wadowee. And I have to admit, it was kind of cool. At least watching it, you could hear them talk, right? Because they're sharing information. They're talking about what they're seeing. It's a little bit different than one guy looking. I was watching Connell and Wheeler yesterday for a little bit, and they were just waxing them. Again, we talked about it yesterday, 1 pounder, 2 pounders, whatever, but they still were having that conversation. Now, SCP fish and blue is an important color. We've talked about you in that on this show several times. You love your worms to be blue, if I'm not mistaken. And again, that might be something we can get into Saturday night. But come back tonight. We'll talk about all that. We'll just have a good old time. Have the guys all in there. Let this team. We had Alex and we had Clint on the other night. Now you get Tim and Tony and Father Time. And I'm working on some really cool guests here for he does like a black and blue jig too. But We got some good guests coming down the line. So you guys, again, don't work too hard. I'm gonna let TikTok go first today. You guys be good. Appreciate you out there. And they're gone. And now you guys here on this side. Hey, appreciate you guys hanging out with me for a little bit today. But come back tonight. We're gonna have a good time, good conversation like we always do. If there's a football game on, just throw it on there. Turn the volume down and listen to us blow V8 or whatever the word is for a couple hours. And you guys join us and we'll just have a great conversation. So appreciate you joining me today. Again, remember, if you're in the Blue Ridge area this weekend, go by Blue Ridge Marine, 30% off, live bait, tackle, kayaks, rod and reels, buy or sell a boat. 12166 Morgantown Highway, 706-900-4004. And make sure you go ahead and get signed up for the Toys for Tots. Okay. We'll see you guys here in about 7 hours. Y'all be good. Don't work too hard.